hey, welcome to the second video of my YouTube series where we're going to track my 30-pound loss over 20 weeks. I'm Jake, I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach, and I help people transform their bodies and learn how to extend their life through healthy habits and healthy eating. I try to make it as simple as possible so you know exactly what you need to do. And today, for the second video, we're going to talk everything nutrition. So we're going to look at nutrition in two aspects: the quality of the food that you eat and the quantity of the food that you eat. And then we're going to talk about how they relate to each other and how you can use it to both boost your longevity of health and also have a transformation right here and right now. And we'll talk about the strategies I'm utilizing to lose fat and retain muscle. So first, let's tackle quality of food. So when we're talking quality of foods, we're talking about foods that are nutrient dense. They come from the earth, they're whole foods, and they're closest to their original form. So like fruits and vegetables, for instance, they get harvested, they get taken to the grocery store, you buy them and you eat them, right? They're very close to their original form. So fruits, vegetables, animal protein, dairy, eggs, milk, and we'll also include whole grains into the conversation as well. And so those are high quality whole foods, and your diet should primarily consist of those whole foods if you're looking to boost your longevity and overall health. And on the other side of that are foods that are high in calories, but they don't pack a lot of nutrients. These are typically called ultra processed foods. They're foods that are far from their original source. They go literally through processes that either strip them of nutrients or add unhealthy oils or additives that are damaging to your health. So a really good example of that would be a potato chip. So on a bag of Lay's potato chips is actually a potato that's been sliced into a potato chip. But we know that that's not exactly what happens, right? They take these potatoes, they slice them, and then they put them in really high temperature refined oils, which strips them of their nutrients, adds a ton of unhealthy calories, and then they salt them. They make them taste really good. They make the crunch just perfect enough that you can't stop eating them. And they literally make them addictive so that you keep wanting to eat them. And then you're left with all of these calories with no nutrients to fill your body with any sort of health whatsoever. And like, that's a really obvious one. Like, most people are pretty aware of that, but there are a lot of other foods that we eat on a day-to-day basis that are like that. And I think the majority of your food should come from whole foods. And I think these are things that we know, but we don't always put into practice, right? And if we did, I think we would benefit a lot more, both in the short term and the long term. And so one of the easiest things that you can do to improve your overall health and improve your physique is to eat primarily a whole food diet. And so the way I would approach this, and I've done this with clients in the past, is to make a list. List your top 5 favorite fruits, vegetables, proteins, and whole grains. And from that list, you can create a grocery haul that is going to include foods that are nutrient packed and purposely avoid ultra processed foods. Simply by doing that, making that list and just eating those foods, you're gonna improve your health instantly, which is gonna have no choice but to improve your physique. The next level to that would be to also prioritize protein and have a workout plan, but we'll get to some of that stuff later. So I call this the centered approach. So if you imagine a dot, and around this dot are all the different types of diet tribes you can think of. So you can list keto, vegan, vegetarianism, carnivores, Atkins, Whole30, the Mediterranean diet, right? All these different diet tribes in the circle. I tend to be in the center of that, right? There are positive attributes to all of them, yet they directly conflict with each other, right? So obviously the carnivores and the vegans have a very different idea of what healthy is, and each of them is a little bit right? There's scientific data to back up the benefits of eating a lot of protein, animal protein, specifically red meat, and a high fat diet. And there's also a lot of science that shows that eating vegetables and fruits primarily are gonna be the thing that are gonna keep you the healthiest. And in reality, you need a little bit of all of these, right? We're omnivores. And to be realistic about how you can eat over your entire life, it would be to include everything. It's difficult to live your entire life as a carnivore or as a vegetarian, right? If you don't have some sort of underlying condition that's like requiring you to eat that way. If I'm talking about average people here, you've got to be realistic about what you can sustain over a long period of time. There are several people out there that have done the keto diet and they've got to find a way to go back to normal after they're finished with it, right? So I've had a lot of clients that come to me and say they've seen success with the keto diet, but they couldn't keep the weight off. They gained it all back, and there's a reason why, right? It's not that the keto diet is bad, it's that there's not a real exit strategy or a long-term commitment that's going to be realistic over time. And so I tend to take what I call the centered approach. So in the center of the circle of all these different diet tribes, in the center would be a whole food diet that includes a little bit of everything. So we're going to eat foods like fruits and vegetables because of the nutrients they provide us. We're going to eat red meat and chicken and eggs and dairy because they have their own nutrients to provide for the actions that we want to do in our daily lives. So we're going to include whole grains. We're going to include legumes and beans and other things that each have their own way of benefiting our bodies. And the most important thing to reiterate here is that that's going to be the most sustainable way to live, right? It's very difficult to exclude a specific type of food group for your entire life. I think that it's important to include a little bit of everything, and you can do that by eating primarily whole foods. And the other thing I will add to that, and we'll talk about this throughout the YouTube series, is prioritizing protein, because that's going to help you change your physique, and that is going to help you stay satiated so that you don't overeat. Overall, if you have a primarily whole food diet, it's going to affect the amount of food that you eat. So the quantity of food is really important, and what's the most important thing to understand is that there's a metabolic rate that you are at right now, and you can put a number on it. And the number you can put on it are the amount of calories that you can eat to maintain your current weight. So let's make up a number. Let's say it's 2,500 calories. If you eat less than that, you're going to lose weight. If you eat more than that, you're going to gain weight. And for the most part, that is true. That's what's going to happen. I could eat over my metabolic rate and eat completely healthy whole foods and prioritize protein and still gain fat. I could eat terrible foods. I could eat pizza and donuts all day long, but suppress the amount of food that I eat to underneath that metabolic rate and still lose weight. And that's not the best way to do it, but like physically it's possible. Okay, back to our line here. We're gonna add some color, and we're gonna turn this into a chart. And in this chart, you can see that the metabolic rate is still the line in the center. And at the top, we're gonna have the quality of food split into high quality and low quality. On the left side, you're gonna see high calorie and low calorie. You'll notice that the high calorie is above the metabolic rate line, and the low calorie is below the metabolic rate line, which matches the arrows to gain or lose weight. Let's move the arrows out, and let's look at what our top left box would be. This would be the area in which we would gain weight, but we would have nutrient-dense food. So a healthy body and a purposeful weight gain. So this shows that you can gain weight in a healthy way, but you could also look at this as you could change your diet and start eating clean foods and still possibly gain weight. It's not super likely, because when you eat a lot of healthy foods, you tend not to overeat because you're not eating foods that are easily overconsumed. Okay, so now moving to the bottom, this is weight loss and nutrient dense. So this means that you're eating high quality foods that are packed full of nutrients, but you're eating below your metabolic rate, which means you are going to lose weight. And then if we go over to the right side, before we do, notice that the center line is your maintenance, right? So if you're eating right at the center of your metabolic rate, you would maintain your current weight. So in the top right corner, you're going to see weight gain in the high calorie section, but low quality food, nutrient poor. This is where a lot of Americans, just your average American, spend the majority of their lives. They're eating nutrient poor foods, and they're eating so much that they're gaining weight. And then the final box, this is in the low quality food. So you are eating foods that are nutrient poor, but maybe you're tracking your foods to go underneath your metabolic rate and you are losing weight. I hope that this chart makes sense and you can kind of picture the different areas of dieting, both in regards to the quality of food and the amount of food that you eat, and how they can contribute to your overall health and weight loss or weight gain. So now let's look at where we want to be in our cut, our attempt to lose 30 pounds over 20 weeks. I want to spend my time over here in the bottom left corner for the weight loss and nutrient dense foods. Nutrient dense foods are gonna keep me healthy, and because I'm eating less food, that's less opportunity to get nutrients in. So you wanna make sure that you are eating nutrient dense foods, and you want to track them to make sure that you are eating underneath your metabolic rate. But realistically, it's very difficult to be perfect. So I'm pretty much gonna end up here, where I'm shifted over a little bit so that I have some balance and I can enjoy some foods from time to time that might be in the low quality section. Because at no point in this video do I want to shame anybody for eating the food that they enjoy. I oftentimes eat foods that I just enjoy. I like candy, I like cookies, I have a sweet tooth, and every now and then, just to keep me eating healthy longer, I'm gonna take a break and have a little bit of something that I enjoy. So I'm gonna spend my time more in this area. And then this last slide is gonna show you where I think most people should be to eat for longevity. You're gonna eat around your maintenance calories. So you may be periodically gaining weight or periodically losing weight, but you're overall in the center. And again, you're not perfect, right? It's very difficult to be perfect, and you shouldn't expect to be. I think this is a very healthy area to be, where the majority of the food that you eat are high quality foods, and you still have room to eat foods that you enjoy that might be considered nutrient poor. So basically, quality versus quantity. Quantity is just the tool that I use to make sure that I'm eating the right amount of food to reach my goals. And the quality are the types of foods that I'm bringing in so that I have a high quality diet, a lot of nutrients and things to promote overall health. There's something about nutrition that I really want people to internalize from this video. It's not just about like, what should I eat, what shouldn't I eat? It's the impact that food can have on your life. So your body is responsible for how you perceive the world. The health of your brain, the health of your heart, the health of your arteries, the health of all of the processes it takes to make your body run and get nutrients where they're supposed to go. All of that is responsible for how you perceive and experience the world, right? Like, we get this amazing opportunity to live in these bodies, and you want your best chance, your best opportunity to be able to enjoy that experience. And if you're eating terrible food, it's gonna mess with all of those processes. There are so many things that food can negatively impact your body, therefore negatively impacting your experience in the world, and increase your anxiety or stress or whatever it is negative that you might be going through. And so eating healthy is going to be the thing that sets you up to have the best opportunity to have a healthy, happy life, right? And I think that there's a lot of other things that could go into that, but like, set your foundation and your standard of health at a high level so that you have the best chance to enjoy your life. So eat healthy foods, eat your vegetables, eat your fruit, eat your healthy proteins, and go work out. Speaking of that, leg day. So we're gonna start our leg day with our compound movements. These are walking weighted lunges. We're gonna do 3 by 10 on each side. So technically I'm counting to 20 on each one. You're gonna feel both your quads and your glutes activate. And then we're gonna follow that up with a leg press. This is a 3 by 10 to 12 movement. That means I want to be working at my hardest in that 10 to 12 rep range. And then I know that I am weak in this area. So hip abductions, 3 by 10 to 12, making sure that I'm not too worried about how far I open up. I just want to make sure that I go as far as I can and feel the burn. And then my favorite machine is this lying leg curl machine at Alphaland, another 3 by 10 to 12 movement, which is focused on hypertrophy. I can really feel the squeeze and control the weight on this machine. And then same with the leg extensions. This is for the other side of the leg. This is your quads. Another 3 by 10 to 12. This is one of my other favorite machines. Again, working on hypertrophy, and then ending the exercise or ending the workout with calf raises, 3 by 12 to 15. I make sure that I stretch at the bottom and pause at the very top. And that's leg day. All right, so what are you gonna do with all of this information from this video? The first thing I would suggest is do an audit. Do an audit of the foods that you eat every day, maybe even the foods that are in your kitchen, and see how much food you're eating that come from whole foods, the fruits, veggies, high quality proteins, dairy, and whole grains, and then see how many of the foods you're eating that are not. Maybe they're ultra processed foods. And try to add a little more to your day of the whole foods and a little bit less of the processed foods. If you just do that one thing, you'd be surprised at the results you can get from that, not only how you look, but how you feel. And then if you do have a goal, right? Let's say you are training, you are trying to improve your health overall, you're trying to lose weight or build muscle, make sure that you're eating enough protein. What I would suggest is eating 1 gram of protein per your ideal body weight. So my ideal body weight is about 170 pounds, and so I'm eating about 170 grams of protein per day. That's gonna support my muscle retention as I drop body fat. And then the second thing I would do after your audit, if you are looking to make a change and you just haven't been able to do it, try and track your food for 2 weeks. Take 14 days, download an app like MyFitnessPal, Chronometer. I use Macro Factor, I think it's the best one. And you can just scan barcodes of the food that you eat. And you can track for about 14 days and just see how many calories you're eating. Maybe you're not eating as much as you think you are, or maybe you're eating way over what you think you are. You might think that you're eating a lot of protein, and then you put it into an app and see that, like, wow, I'm not even hitting half the amount that I should be hitting. And when you do that, it's really eye-opening. It'll show you that there are areas that you can improve on the amount of food that you're eating or the amount of protein that you're hitting. So I think that there are 3 tiers to this. The first tier, the foundational, the easiest tier to achieve, especially if counting macros seems a little daunting, is tier 1, just focus on calories. So just track your caloric intake. Don't look at anything else but how many calories you're eating. The second tier would be counting calories, but also meeting a protein goal. So maybe you're trying to hit 2,000 calories and you're trying to hit 150 grams of protein. Just track those things. And then the third tier is tracking all your macronutrients. So your protein, your fat, and your carbs. That's what I do. It's the most accurate way to track, and it makes me feel really good about what I'm doing because I feel like I've got all my stuff together. So do an audit. If you're up for tracking, start to track and do at least 14 days and just see what happens. So the next thing I'm gonna move to is a Costco haul that Haley and I did this week. And what you're gonna see are the types of food that we're eating, that they're clean foods with healthy ingredients, and then you're gonna see a combination of healthy carbs, fats, protein, and you're gonna see some things that we have to take time and cook, and you're also gonna see things that we purchase simply for convenience. Okay, so we're gonna do this in phases because this is the only spot of our kitchen that's presentable right now. So here are some of the fruits that we have. We have a lot of berries. I like berries a lot because they're high in nutrients and they are low in calories, so it's perfect if you're trying to lose weight. So strawberries, blueberries, and we've got washed raspberries in here, which are awesome. And then bananas. I like bananas because they actually are higher in calories, and sometimes I want a good amount of healthy carbs, so bananas are great. Mushrooms are amazing. We put this in like rice and ground beef all the time. One, it tastes really good, high nutrients and really low in calories. And then this is really awesome. We just found these. This is called Mush. These are overnight oats. They have really clean, healthy ingredients. It's basically just oatmeal and fruit and cinnamon. And if there's a few flavors in here, this is great pre-workout. I had one of these this morning and loved it. I've got some apples, jazz apples, and we've got carrots, prosciutto, because prosciutto is amazing. Some ground turkey, some already cooked chicken breasts. So this is something we get for convenience so that we don't have to spend all of our time cooking. To drink, we've got some poppies, which we've just started buying these and I love them. They also have healthy ingredients. They're not calorie free, but like the ingredients in a poppy are gonna be better than the ingredients in like a Diet Coke or a Diet Dr. Pepper. Even though it has 5 grams of sugar, this is actually better for you. So I'd rather take the 5 grams of sugar and something that's healthy than no grams of sugar and something that is not healthy. And then sparkling water, if you don't like to drink water, sometimes these are really good. I tend not to drink too many carbonated things, which is kind of why I like poppies. They're not super carbonated. Okay, so next we've got these Kevin's paleo meals. Basically, they're just healthy proteins with sauces, and you can put your own rice into these. We like these a lot because, again, it's super easy to make and it's already cooked. So you pretty much just have to heat it up. And then these harvest bowls. So these are really the game changer for us. These are bowls that you can put your own proteins into. And these bowls have ingredients that, like, I probably wouldn't buy. Like, I've never bought a pea in my life, but every time I eat one of these, I get a healthy serving of peas. And so this is a really great way to include vegetables that you may not get otherwise in a super convenient package. And then I like that it doesn't include protein because I can add my own. So I can add chicken breast, I can add fish, salmon, cod, I can add like ground turkey or ground beef, and it makes these bowls really awesome and perfect for hitting macros. So these lemon garlic chickens are pre-cooked that are also really easy. I guess Whole30 has a brand now, so these are great. And then we've got a ton of cuties. I just put a few out here. I like eating refried beans, and fat-free specifically because I have low fat with my macros right now, so these are really helpful. Carb sources, jasmine rice. We also have pre-cooked brown rice. We typically cook our rice, but again, it's sometimes more convenient to make these, and you can do these in the microwave or stovetop if you're trying to avoid the microwave. So these are awesome. Potatoes, another healthy carb. Let's see, bone broth, dude. This is like, there are so many benefits to having bone broth in your body, in your life, and the macros are fantastic. A ton of protein, and like bone broth just tastes really good. Chicken tortilla soup from Kirkland from Costco, which is good. A healthy nut butter. So I really like raw almond butter. The ingredients are raw almonds and almond oil, and that's it. There aren't any extra unnecessary oils or ingredients or sweeteners in here. It's just squished up almonds. It's awesome. Next, let's go on to some snacks. So RX bars are really good ingredients, pretty decent macros. This is a great way to eat something sweet if you're avoiding like your sweet tooth. That's It bars are also really good for that. They're called That's It because the ingredients are pretty simple and that's it. And they taste really good. I like them. And the next, like meat and cheese snacks. If you're like a charcuterie board type person, like having a Baby Bell cheese and an Archer beef stick, which is grass-fed beef, like this is the perfect combination, great macros. And then if you like hard-boiled eggs, man, they come pre-cooked and packaged at Costco. These are amazing if you like these. I don't like these, but Haley loves them, and the macronutrients are fantastic. And then last, we've got the individual or individually packed avocado. Avocado is a healthy fat and is awesome to include into your diet, and it comes with sea salt. They taste pretty good, and that's about it. Other things that we like: seasoning, paprika, and then this Redmond Real Organic Garlic Salt. We put this on literally everything. If you like salt and you like garlic, you're gonna love garlic salt, and this is probably the best one that you should get. So that concludes this video. The next one is going to be most likely more vlog style, where I'll cover a full day of eating, a full day of lifting, and kind of show you what my day looks like, and we'll count macros together so I can show you that it's a little easier than you think it is if you've never done it before. I've got to put all these groceries up, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten to the end of this video, I really appreciate you. It really helps if you push the like button and subscribe if you haven't. And if you think that anything in this video is something that you want somebody else to see, please share it or leave a comment below and tell me what you liked about this video or something that you would like to see that you're curious about. Thanks again for watching.